Set up. We're good. Good to go. Good to go. Good to go. We are good to go. We're solid. We're good. We're perfect. We are here. We're in a live stream. We're doing the stuff. We're doing all the stuff and all the things. Everything is happening. Everything. And the 05 STI gets to, like, come back alive. What up, How M? How M? I am here. You are here. Small dog. You are now here. What is going on, tiny dog? I'm going to close that door again since you just wanted to bust right through it. It's a party in here. Boop. Boop. Pop it. What is going on, Haven? How are you doing? How's your day? How's your evening? How's everything going? Is everything solid? Is it all good? Hello, tiny dog. Welcome back. Here, you're going to be in charge of guarding the cell phone. You guard that. You guard that. What up, OMX Strike? Connor, what's going on? What's going on, you guys? What's poppin'? James, how you doing? Hey, how's tricks, my man? I don't know what that means, but everything is chill. The 05 STI should be alive this week. It should be back. It should be back and alive and running, and I cannot wait. Our intercooler shows up tomorrow. Our new injector O-ring show up tomorrow. Our downpipe shows up this week. Everything shows up this week. So that means we could theoretically start the car this week, which means we can theoretically get it running and driving again. I am so pumped. Jose, I did not skip you. I stopped at that one. But what is up? Jose, my man. Butterfly, what's going on, dudes? That guy, Oversight. Zeus? I think. Zeus? What's going on? A-W-N-E-T-V-E. Not even going to try to pronounce that one because it's going to be all over the place. Byron, what's going on, dude? What's tomorrow's video going to be? Tomorrow's video is wrapping up a lot of the smaller stuff on the STI, getting it prepared, so that way tomorrow when the intercooler shows up, the downpipe, all of that other stuff gets here, we can just bolt everything on and start the car. So it's taking care of all like the knick-knack stuff that I've kind of like left out, and it's going over the EG33's heads because I have the heads in the garage and ooh, they look so beautiful. So you guys will get a peek at the EG33's heads tomorrow. I don't have the short block yet. All I have are the heads right now. So when the short block comes back, we can actually assemble that into a long block, which I am like looking forward to doing. So good stuff. Good stuff for tomorrow. Hey, I took your advice and bought an HS for my lady, and she loves it. She put in a motor with very little help aside from your advice. Hey, glad to hear. GD, I got you. She bought a GD. Nice. What GD? What year? Curious. I love GDs. I'm all about GDs. What about the 6 Boxer STI? I want to see that car spitting flames. That car's probably not going to be running until like the end of 2021 because that's very expensive to get it going. But like I said, the EG33's heads are in the garage. So once we get the short block back, we can get all that mated up. I'm not going to order any parts for the EG33 quite yet, not until I have that long block assembled, so that way I know what I need to order and what I don't need to order, because right now I'm just kind of taking like a shot in the dark every time I order stuff, like do I need this, do I not need this, so it's coming along, one day at a time. Anthony, good evening, bro. Actually got the notification this time around. Well, I am glad that YouTube is doing its job this time. Glad that YouTube is actually like pushing it out. Yo, what's up? What's up? Canteen? Something along those lines. Excited for you. Glad everything is going well. Yes, sir. E-Tune or Dyno Tune for the STI? Dyno Tune. So the 05 STI is going to be going back down to, well, it's going to be going to Surge Line for the first time that I'm aware of. So the car's going to be going down to Surge Line. Chris is going to be tuning the car. He's tuned my 07 STI and the 2017 STI twice on both of the revisions I did with the 2017 EJ in that car. So it's going down to Surge Line. Incredibly excited. Can an RB26 fit in a Blob-Eye STI? With enough money, enough time, and enough patience, you can fit anything in there. But no, it will not drop right in if that's what you're asking. What's up? What's up, Christian? Hey man, I'm for a 450 to 550 horsepower 03WX. What clutch would you recommend? You recommend the estimated torque. So it's all, I mean, it's all going to come down to torque. Guessing that you're going to be around 450 to 550 wheel horsepower. On the high side, 550 wheel horsepower. I'd estimate your torque's going to be around, I don't know, 480 to 520-ish. The clutch, what is it? What is the clutch? What is the clutch? The one that's in the 05 STI. I'm having like ACT, Jesus. The ACT HDSS clutch would be what I recommend. That thing's rated up to like 525 foot-pounds of torque. As long as you're under that realm in torque, you should be totally fine. If not, they make another one that's rated up to 590 foot-pounds of torque, but one of those ones. Hey Tanner, I was looking at injectors for my 05 STI to go E85, and I can't find any at all. Do you know any? Yes. Pretty much every single Injector Dynamics ID series injector is going to be good for E85. I would highly suggest you do the side feed to top feed conversion on your car, because top feed is going to be a little bit more efficient and you have a little bit more selection when it comes to injectors as well. Hello from Vegas. I'm jealous. It's probably nice and warm in Vegas. Looking forward to the awakening of the bug eye. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be alive soon. It's EG time. It's EG time. It's EG time. We're so close to it being EG time. We don't have the short block back yet. All we have are the heads, but the heads look so good. The heads look so good. So good. I can't stop looking at them every time I go into the garage. 04WX. That's what I'm saying. I like me a good blob eye. Like me a good blob eye. Guess who's going on E this week? So excited. Well, I'm going to guess it's you, the Auto Subi guy. I'm going to guess it's you. I'm going to guess it's you. What are good control arms and sway bars for 2017 STI, and other recommendations for handling? For handling, I would do some of the basic steering rack bushing and steering rack like bracing. Cusco makes a brace, and Whiteline makes some bushings for that. If you're looking for some good sway bars, Whiteline, typically you should be just fine just doing a rear sway bar with some like SPC or Whiteline lower control arms. They're going to be the best bang for the buck whenever it comes to that kind of stuff. They're cheap. I think they're like 250 bucks. They give you all the adjustability you need. It's pretty much just an eccentric bolt on the end of the control arm. They're not like crazy, fancy, fun color or anything like that, but they get the job done. If you're looking to increase handling a little bit more, I would definitely consider doing some type of chassis bracing if you haven't already. Really helps stiffen up the chassis, gives a little bit more feedback when you're driving. I plan on boosting my BRZ. What do you recommend more, catch can or AOS? When I boosted my BRZ, I stuck with catch cans because I liked the idea of that motor retaining all the nasty filth instead of just pushing it back into the motor. I would highly suggest the Radium catch cans for the BRZ FRS GT86 platform. They look good, they fit well, they're very functional, and you get two of them, so it's kind of like a fail-safe system. Thanks for always trying to reply to everyone's comments. I do my best. If YouTube gives me a notification that someone commented, I will 100% try. Well, I will 100% respond to your comment. A feedback knock 1.48, 2.8, 1.8, 1.4, and 2.8. Now 1.48. But damn, always at 1. Is it false knock or should I be worried? Totally normal. 1.4 and 2.8 are normal parameters. AOS. Byron, AOS, AOS. For the BRZ, I like to the catch cans, but either option's good. Can't you buy 6-cylinder boxer parts from Porsche since they use a 6-cylinder boxer? I mean, you could, but it doesn't mean they're going to fit up to, like, a Subaru one. Just because it's a flat motor doesn't mean it's same. It's not same. It's same, but different. Also, appreciate the dono! Always appreciate the dono. You guys absolutely kill it. Thank you, Christian. Always appreciate it. And I'm digging the little pear gif emoji dude. I'm digging him. Always appreciate it, you guys. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Fox! I know when we were talking on the thing the other day, you said your birthday was coming up. So happy birthday, Fox. Happy birthday. Any updates on the bug? Any fun bug updates? Meow and what's up? Kinda medicated today. Meds gave me an insane migraine. Hope everyone is doing well. I hope you feel better, my friend. I have IGF that likes cars but not super into them. What's a good starter car, like a Miata or FRS? I have a straight line car. Maybe I should get a track car. If you're looking to get like a good entry level car for someone who's like coming into the world of modifying cars, I mean, both of what you said, Miata and FRS, BRZ, GT86 are all very good platforms to come into. You could get like an older like BMW E30 if you wanted to. There's a lot of options. It just kind of like boils down to what is your budget? What do you want out of the car? Are you just going to use it for track use? Are you going to like drive it every single day? Like, what is the overall plan for the car? But Miata, FRS, BRZ, GT86 are all very good starter cars. How would you rank all of the WRX STI by looks? By looks, I'm going to say at number 1 is the Hawkeye, number 2 is the Blobeye, number 3 is the GC, number 4 is the GR, number 5 is the Bug-Eye, and then on the very bottom of the list is the VA chassis. I think it doesn't look the greatest out of all of them. I think it lacks character, and this is coming from someone who has a VA chassis. And a 05. I didn't put either of my cars in the number 1 spot. I think the Hawkeye definitely looks the best, followed by the Blobeye, and so on and so forth. I do think that the V8 chassis is the most bland out of all of them. Because they manufactured so many of them, so they kind of lose the individuality that they all kind of had prior to that. And everyone just does like the same bolt-ons. Like, let's mix it up, you guys. Let's mix it up! Awesome, thank you. I believe that it said it was 520 crank torque. Well, there you go. ACT is the way to go. What's good, brother? Oh, Fox. Yo, Fox. I didn't mean to skip your comment. What's good, brother? Why did you go back to your 05? I missed having an 05 STI. I have the 17 STI and the 05 STI, but the 05 STI just offers more of a raw driving experience. It's a lot more simple. If you've never driven a G8 or a GD chassis, WRX or STI, it's an entirely different driving feel than you'd get out of your GR or your VA chassis. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more connected. It's a lot more simple. Show, why are we hiding that? I am live. Don't hide that comment, YouTube. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. What clutch would you recommend for a Bug-Eye? 330 horsepower. Just get like an STI replacement exity. Those ones are good up to like 360 foot-pounds of torque. Should be totally fine with that. Sorry, important hockey game is on. Who's playing hockey right now? Who's playing hockey? What up, Doug? What's going on, dude? Hey, you should bring that car by my house and show my Blobeye how it's supposed to be. It doesn't even run yet. It'll run this week, hopefully. But once the base tune is on the car, we're going to do like a shakedown drive with the Blobeye just to make sure that everything's good. I do have a feeling that we're going to have like a couple leaks in the system that we're probably going to have to fix. It looks like the valve cover gasket, which I should have replaced while the motor was out of the car, I know, but it looks like the passenger side valve cover gasket might be leaking a little bit of oil also. Once the car is actually running, I can confirm that. If it is leaking, I'll pop the passenger side valve cover off, replace that gasket also. But aside from that, I mean, hopefully it's good to go. Getting lots of snow now. You already know what's up. I'm saying we never get snow up here. We rarely get snow. Maybe like once every 2 years. Looking to replace my suspension with coilovers on my 08 Legacy GT. Still need ground clearance for winter, but I'd like to drop it a couple inches in the summer. What are your recommendations? Well, depending on your budget, if your budget is like under $1,500, I would say Fortunatos or Feel 441. If your budget's under $1,000, BC Racing would probably be my go-to for those. Ryan, what's going on, dude? Yo, always good for my life to catch a stream. That's what I'm saying, man. We're kicking it. We're chilling. Decided on getting an access port and Pro Tune, even though the car is a certified pre-owned. Trust in dealership work has really diminished. I totally do not blame you. Really excited for you to get your access port, though. It definitely makes a difference. I know you got a WRX, a V8 chassis WRX with the FA20. Getting even just an OTS like tune on there will get rid of the rev hang, and you're going to enjoy driving that thing so much more than you do now. Do you know the size of the crimps you use for the 3/8 6AN line? They were the ones supplied by IAG, so I would check out IAG's website to see if they might have those listed up on there. If not, I do not know off the top of my head what size those crimps were. They were just the ones provided to me from IAG. I have a 2017 WRX making decent power, but I'm thinking about buying an 02 with a built out front STI swap plus 6-speed that makes about 450 wheel horsepower and 85 with a GT3076R. Your advice? I mean, if it's coming from out front with a build, I mean, as long as you have like the full build list and you're totally comfortable buying someone else's project, it sounds like a pretty solid car depending on how much you can actually get the car for. Outfront's a very good shop. I like Outfront. I've talked to them for a couple hours on the phone here and there. Jeremy down there, the engine builder, is super knowledgeable, super cool dude. So if they did build a car, then by all means, I wouldn't have any troubles buying a car like that, as long as you get the entire build list. Like, keep that in mind. Get the entire build list. If the owner you're buying the car from doesn't mind getting a compression test done just for your peace of mind, I would highly consider that as well. But pending those two things, totally good in my opinion. I found a 1969-1970 Subaru 360 for sale, $1,400 on Craigslist in Phoenix. Buy it. Buy that thing. Subaru 360s are cool. Why did you use dot 3 versus dot 4 brake fluid? Well, I'm not hitting the track with the blob eye anytime soon, and I had 3 quarts of the dot 3 OEM fluid in the garage, and it's perfect fluid for flushing out the system and replacing it for daily driving. Remember, the 05 STI is going to be a daily driver for right now. We'll probably take it to the track here and there, but the dot 3's temperature rating should be totally fine for what we're going to be doing with the car right now. It's not like we're going to be going 1,000 miles an hour on a track, slamming on the brakes, heating them up so much to the point where the brake fluid's going to get to a point where it tries to boil. So dot 3 is just fine. Love the channel, always appreciate it, man. Glad to see caught this. Thank you, Cam. I'm super excited to finally run and chat jumped. Finally run and pull boost. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be exciting. Thanks for answering my questions a few weeks ago. I didn't get the STI. A guy bailed on me. I got a 2020 WRX with Brimbos and Recaro seats. Came with the STI short throw shifter too. Not bad. That's still a good pickup. That's still a good purchase. Still a good purchase. Still a fun car too. I saw an old video that you mounted the STI anti-glare on your 17. Any idea where I can find those? Everywhere I look, the item says they're discontinued. Someone messaged me trying to buy those. Oversight. Was that you? Someone DM'd me on Instagram asking me if I'd sell them my mirrors. My mirrors are not for sale. Let me throw that out there. But those mirrors have been discontinued for about 2 years now. They were an OEM Subaru option. They're anti-glare mirrors. They say little STI on them, and then they have like integrated turn signals into them. They're really cool mirrors. I have an entire video made on them. But if you guys are looking at trying to find a set of those mirrors, your best bet to try to find them is going to be like Yahoo Auctions or some type of JDM auction site online. Just because they don't make them anymore, you're gonna have to keep an eye out for if a set pops up or not. But yeah, they're like stupid hard to find nowadays. Just made it! What's going on, homie? Happy birthday again, Fox. Can money buy an Instagram follow? Why do you no? Why do you guys want me to follow? If you got, I never sometimes I go through there and I look at like my Instagram list and I'll like creep on people. If you have like a different build or something like totally cool, that's like out of the realm from what I normally see, typically I'll give you guys a follow. But for the most part, I kind of keep like Instagram, like my list somewhat small, so that way I can see like what's going on with some of the actual stuff that I'm following. But maybe we'll see. No, you cannot buy. I don't sell Instagram follows. That's kind of no. Keep your muns. My mom bought the 2002 back. Wait, what? My mom bought the 2002 back. Getting an estimate on the damage on the 2012 sometime this week. Wait, Fox, what do you mean the 2002? Bought the 2002 what back? What products do I use to clean the engine bay? Glass cleaner. Because I'm cheap, and I don't like buying engine-specific cleaning products. So I'll go in there with a can of glass cleaner and just hose everything down and then just wipe down all the dirt. It's cheap. It's cheap and it works. Sup, dude? What's going on, Eric? Christian. Ooh, that's what I'm saying. What up from Florida? What's going on, Bobby? How come when ordering Downpipe, they try and push boost control solenoid? Because they want to make more sales. They're trying to bundle everything together. I've bought like random parts and they're like, you should buy this too, because you totally need it. Like I'll buy we'll say I buy like a front mount and they're trying to get me to get a shift knob. Like, no, stop. Like, you don't need any more sales. Stop. Just... looking to get the ETS quiet with resonator. Never heard it in person. Any recommendations? Want a deep rumble without being too loud with the stock downpipe. So, ETS quiet. I'm guessing that's 5-inch mufflers with resonator. I've heard it in person. It sounds pretty good. It's not crazy loud. If you're looking for... I would honestly... Like, the 4-inch mufflers are probably a good middle ground for what you're shooting for. If you want, like... somewhat loud when you're getting on it, but like not terribly loud when you're like cruising. The 4-inch mufflers are a pretty safe bet. Ayo, Tanner, hope your day is going well. What's going on, Bort Forts? It is going. It's going. I'm pretty pumped about the battery tray that I got fitted in the 05 STI, which you guys will see that in tomorrow's video, but for something so small, pretty pumped for that one. BlackBerry stocks are booming. BlackBerry, like the phones? Like BlackBerry phones? What's your opinion on launch control and flat foot shifting? I've played with flat foot shifting in the BRZ a little bit. Aside from that, not too much on it. it's a fun option to have. I just never have those times when I'm like all out 100% on the throttle, needing to shift and keep going. Launch control, it's fun, but everyone whoever like I see using launch control, I'd say like 80%. People have it set like incredibly too low. Like they'll have it set to like 2,500, 3,000 RPM. Like get it up correlating with like whatever your dyno graph is to where you're making max PSI. That's ideally where you'd want to set your launch control. But I like launch control. If you're totally fine launching your car and you can do it without destroying absolutely everything in there, by all means, send it. What is up, homie? Tanner, love your channel, bro. And we'll be doing my Subi based off your videos. Hey, appreciate it, dude. Appreciate it. Just got a 2018 STI Turbo on my 06 WRX. It's going to be a VF48. Should I do the fuel pump, or is it not necessary for the reliability of your car? I mean, fuel pumps are cheap-ish, kind of. For the most part, they're pretty cheap. I would definitely consider swapping a fuel pump in there if you don't already have one. Wildbureau 255, AEM, Deechworks, any of those ones, all good fuel pumps. They're all pretty much drop-in also and pretty easy to install. I agree, love my 03 WRX, more basic, but it's way better in my opinion. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I love my 17 STI, and I love all the amenities that it had because they're all taken out now. But the 05, the GD chassis, they're different. They just drive different. Devils versus Rangers. I've been to a couple Rangers hockey games. I believe, is that Houston? I think that's Houston. Who's Houston's hockey team? I've seen their hockey team play a couple times. What clutch are you using on the Blobeye? It is an ACT HD SS Extreme something. It's good for like 520 foot-pounds of torque. In the clutch video, whenever we went to like reinstall the motor back in the car, I have it linked in there if you're curious on that one. But off the top of my head, I don't remember like the SKU number or the actual name of it. Let's hit the like, peeps. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I like when my mom goes out of town because I get to sleep on her side of the bed. Interesting. I'm glad that comforts you, Quelly. I'm glad you feel comforted by that. I want to buy a Subaru, but I want to put forged internals and rotated turbo setup. So should I buy a new car, semi-new, high miles? What should I do? I would probably buy one that's outside of the warranty range, and since you're going to be like rebuilding it anyways, or just try to find like a blown up shell or one with a blown up motor, a blown up STI. You can typically get those for a pretty good price, and since you're wanting to do forged internals and rebuild everything anyways, that would probably be the most cost effective way for you to get that high horsepower that you're shooting for. As much time as you spent diagnosing the engine, I'm surprised you didn't just pull the other valve cover to check those valves. I did. I pulled both sides of the valve covers on the 05 STI. I just didn't replace the gasket on the passenger side like I should have. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. I should have, but I didn't. But I did check the passenger side valves as well. Yo, what's up, Tanner? What's your opinion on the WRX versus BRZ? I have an 09 WRX, and I'm thinking about possibly getting a BRZ soon. Wondering what your opinion is since you've had both. So, the BRZ is an incredibly fun car to have, but if you are going to be using it as a daily driver, and it's your sole car for daily driving, keep in mind that space in that thing is not the greatest. The whole reason why I got rid of the BRZ is because I couldn't fit things in the car that I needed to just use on a daily basis. But if you're looking for like pure fun, just pure fun, the BRZ is probably going to be my pick over a WRX. I like the way the BRZ drives compared to just a normal WRX. Thoughts on the Get a Dom Tune Cylinder 4 cooling mod? 100% snag one if you don't already have one. They just make your life 100 times lovelier. Essentially, it's just pulling some coolant from the heater core lines, pushing it through cylinder 4 in the block because there's already a coolant passage there, essentially. So it's just helping bring down the temps in cylinder 4. Yes, swapping to an equal length header is also going to help do that as well, and it's going to give you better longevity over time. But if you don't already have a cylinder 4 cooling mod, just grab one. They're like, what are they, $65, $70? Well worth the money. Super windy here in Cali, but STI's handling very well. Question, why preference on IAG versus parent AOS? Because I don't like parent. Like, that's my thing. I don't like parent's quality. I'm not a huge fan. Specifically with their AOS, I'm not a huge fan of it because all the fittings and whatnot, you have to like build the AOS. It doesn't look as good as IAG. Functionality-wise, yeah, it works, but IAG and Cobb, since Cobb is just a rebranded IAG AOS, it's already just a proven unit that is arguably the best one on the market. So why would you short yourself and not get the go-to best one for your car? Because obviously we all want our cars to last as long as possible. So I think it's worth just spending, what is it, the extra $40 to get the IAG over the Perrin. But if you want the Perrin just for the fun colors, then that is one thing that I'll give Perrin. They have a lot of fun colors. What is up? Just came home from picking up a Cobb access port for a great deal that makes 3 out of 8 parts for my build. That's what I'm saying. Only 5 more. Snag those other 5. Hey Tanner, how's it going? I was watching your videos about to go up the stages of using a Cobb access port, and I was wondering if there's any way to use an access port to reflash for a blow-off valve. No, unfortunately, there is not, Jack. If you do want to run a blow-off valve, you will at minimum need to get a Pro Tune, so that way the ECU can compensate for the lost air that's getting recirculated back into the atmosphere and away from the MAF. You can run blow-off valves on MAF-based cars. Just make sure that the ECU is tuned accordingly. I still wouldn't suggest it. I would still suggest using a bypass valve over a blow-off valve, but both of them are like somewhat good options. Well, they're not, you know what? No, I take that back. A bypass valve is going to be a better option. What turbo to downpipe studs would you recommend for a 19WX? OEM or something else? Snapped one last night. Honestly, I've never had any issues with OEM downpipe studs on any of my older WRXs. That includes both EJ and FA or any of my STIs. Unless the prior owner or myself cross-threaded them on there, I've never had an issue with OEM studs. Joe! Yo! What's going on, Joe? Whoever said money can't buy happiness bought the wrong car. Just have 400 miles, 2020 STI, and cannot wait to open it up more. I totally agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I agree with that. What transmission oil do you use? I thought everyone used Motul Gear 300, but I talked a lot with other people who recently said it wasn't a great option. I use Motul 7590 in all of my cars. It's not the 300V. It's just Motul standard 7590. Works great. I love it. I use it in all my cars. So should I get an access port and then go tune it, or should I let them tune it and not buy the access port? You need an access port to go get a tune. 85 to 90% of all pro tuners who tune Subarus use a program called Access Tuner. Access Tuner is needed in conjunction with the access port, so regardless, you have to have an access port to go get a pro tune, unless you're doing open source tuning or Tatrix cable tuning, which I don't think anyone even does anymore for these cars. I mean, they might. They could. They might. Yeah, those JDM STI mirrors are sick! That's what I'm saying. I like them. I would not sell mine. Not me asking, but they can easily get close to 1K or more. Ooh, I'm just going to hold on to mine. Even if I'm building a big turbo and STI trans-swapped 03. I mean, yes, no name. No name. I got to scroll back up to see what your prior comment was, because I lost it. I don't remember. I don't remember. Love IB. Oh, yeah, still going with the 03. Regarding the 02, I was talking about earlier, I completely trust the builder, owner, and current tuner. I will have a full build list to see if you like know them and you completely trust them, but then by all means. I just wanted to make sure it seemed like a good idea. And what do you think about a decent price is what do you think a decent price is to pay based on the build? Considering it also has ETS front mount and some really nice suspension work. That is not for me to determine. I don't have a full build list on the car. I don't know how many miles are on the car. I don't know the title status. That's not for me to determine. I could give you what I think it's worth, what I would pay for it. But like I said, I need a full build list, miles, title status, everything. Daniel, hey man, get that STI started. This one, I'm waiting for the last of the parts to come in. The intercooler shows up tomorrow. The downpipe shows up this week. The headers show up tomorrow. We're that close. We're so close. Last time you went live, WXSTI, power stages. I asked about power surges, and I was having, you said it was because of the catless exhaust. I have a catted one in now, and I still get the power surges. I even tested with a stock and same thing. I would start to think that it's in the tune at that point. At that point, I would start to think that it's in the tune if you have a Pro tune. If you don't have a Pro tune and you're on an OTS tune, that's going to be another issue. But the power surges coming from the catless downpipe was still a potential problem that needed to be corrected. If it's still happening after that, then it's going to be something inside of the tune, or you don't have the proper tune for the proper parts that you have on the car. Wondering if that ticking noise gets fixed. Same. Hopefully it gets fixed. If not, we're going to send it anyways. I had 2 Beetles since I got the 2012. Oh, okay, gotcha. You had an 02 also. I was going to sell the 02 and pick up the 06 to 10 and do the W8 build. My mom decided she wanted the 02 back. I originally bought it from her. Not bad then. What front mount do you recommend for a 15 plus STI? Cobb, ETS, PRL. Those are kind of the top ones that come to like right off the top of my head. Aaron, what is up, man? I cannot wait to hear the EG with your exhaust. Still haven't made up my mind on what I want to use mine for. Totally feel it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I just can't wait for the short block to get back up here. Ever run Race Comp, GT Works, Bilstein struts, or know anyone who has them? I like the reliability aspect of them not having to be rebuilt. I've never used them. I don't know anyone who has reused them in the past. If anyone in the chat has used them, feel free to chime in on that one. Yo, the airlift is amazing. I'm still thankful for it. That's what I'm saying. The airlift is awesome. I kind of miss the old airlift on my old 2017 STI. It's fun. It's a little fun system to play with. It's just fun to play with. I'm enjoying watching your build as I'm building a sleeper Outback XT. Oh, that reminds me, intercooler. So I did swap the intercooler. You guys will hear about that in tomorrow's video also. But originally I'd gotten the Cobb with the silver core. We're going even more sleeper with the 05 STI, and I swapped over to a black core. So you're not even going to be able to see the intercooler. It's going to be fantastic. But good to hear. Good to hear, man. How much do you think an 04 to 07 STI is worth? Modded and unmodded. That entirely depends on miles, title status, what generation it is, what year it is to be specific. 05s, as for like 04, 05, I think 05 is worth a little bit more than 04. As for 06 and 07, I think 07 is worth more than the 06. But then again, it all comes down to mileage, title status, everything like that. Buying my first WX this week. Ooh, follow up after you get it, my man. Let me know how you like it. What do you think of the Godspeed coilover? Stay away from Godspeed. Don't. Just buy, at minimum, just buy like BC Racing. Just don't. I gotta run. See you next time. Can't wait for that rod. Butterfly Effect. I will catch you in the next one, my dude. 2008 LGT, rebuilt motor, forged pistons, rods, studs. Is it normal to have 2-cylinder roughness events on either piston on a cold start before driving? Forged pistons, yes, totally normal. You got forged pistons in there. Sometimes they're a little noisy. Sometimes they like to give a little bit of roughness. That's totally normal for forged pistons. I would keep an eye on it, though. If you start getting like bad misfires or like real big issues, then at that point I would go back in there and double check. And the piston's punching hard, 100%. That's normal for forged internals. Takes a little heat for them to expand and heat up a little bit. Yeah, totally normal, but just keep an eye on it. I have a few things I need to install. AOS and the cylinder 4 cooling. Cylinder 4 cooling mod kind of sucks, but it's not too bad. Been a while joining the live stream. What's going on, Jimmy? Always, any news on the flat 6 STI build? Yes, sir. I have the built heads in the garage right now. They look absolutely killer. The short block should be shipping back this week or next week. I don't know. I'm still kind of focused on the 05 STI right now, but yes, we do have our 1200 wheel capable heads out in the garage right now. They look so good, and the porting on the intake, woo! The porting on the intake side is massive. It's awesome. Splinter, hey, how's the night going on? What's going on, dude? What's going on, Splinter? It's chilling. We're hanging out. We're kicking it. I have them, just been too unable. Just put on a muffler, delete access port, intake, intercooler, and e-tune. Oh, very nice. It's a good little set of mods you got on there. I'm probably going to put some reliability mods in. What do you think of doing the IAG AOS, a cylinder 4 cooling mod, and a new radiator? Am I missing something? I would definitely add, if you have an EJ series car, at minimum, at least do like a Killer Bee oil pickup and windage tray. If you can afford it, throw the pan on there too. Just added parts for increased longevity and reliability, because that's what we want. That's what we like. That's what we need. Ryan, oh, do you watch Throttle on YouTube? They put a blow-off valve on their 18 STI and it ran without a tune and I just cringed. Maybe they had a base map loaded on. Yeah, I saw that video. I actually watched that video right before I did this live stream. They're saying they're building the ultimate STI. Ultimate STI. They put the ugliest front lip I've ever seen on that car. Ugh. Ugh. I don't understand, like, if they're operating within, like, carb restrictions and limitations for what they can do on the car, but it's just not a fan. Not a fan of that STI they're building, I can tell you that much right now. Scott Murs, Grimspeed. Grimspeed sells a downpipe hardware kit for 15 plus WX. That they do. I don't know if it's any better than OEM, though. My neighbor bought a 2005 Subaru Legacy 2.5 GT for $1,000 today. That is a steal for $1,000. Does it run and drive? Curious. What kind of bypass valve do you recommend for someone who's on a budget? Stock. You have no need to swap out the bypass valve unless you're getting the car tuned and you're making above. If you're on an STI, making above like 21 to 22 PSI, but you can crush down the top of the stock bypass valve so that way it'll hold up to like 22, 23-ish. There's no need to swap out bypass valves unless you're going to make more boost. What the whole reason for swapping out the bypass valve is just the internal spring. Once you start making too much PSI, the OEM bypass valve just cannot handle it anymore, and then you need one with a stiffer spring that can actually be capable of handling the additional PSI that it is like diverting back into the system. So I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even get a bypass valve unless you're turning up the boost in your car. Yo, what up, baby? What up, Brody and Tyler? Clean 87 sedan. That is Brody, everyone. And Tyler. What is up, dudes? Tyler, let's WRX swap your 2.5 RS. That was your goal, and you never did it. You bought a whole parts car, and you never did it. Do it. I need to find a new car. Going crazy without one. Well, what are you in the market for, Doug? What are you looking for? What is out there that you're looking for? What do I think about Mishimoto products? I think their radiators are just fine. I wouldn't buy literally anything else they make. I wouldn't even buy their fans. I'd buy their radiators, and that's about it. I'm not a huge fan of their intercoolers. Not a huge fan of like their charge piping, stuff like that. Like, yeah, Mishimoto makes somewhat decent stuff for like a budget price. But just the quality of the parts that I've seen that are not like radiators, just kind of hit or miss. I got you. I totally missed that one. Where did I just go? Oh, there I am. Yo, love the channel. Cannot wait to see the STI. Hey, thanks, Carlos. Appreciate it, man. I got you. Please do. Please do, man. Loving the videos, homie. I just picked up a 15 STI and I noticed the wiring harness has black electrical tape wrapped around it. Is that normal? 100% that's normal. If you go through the engine bay and you start looking at like multiple parts of the wiring harness, you'll see black electrical tape wrapped around it in different areas. It's just to hold the wiring loom onto all of the wiring. Totally normal. P2089, P2093. Keep popping. What to do? Well, let's Google those codes and see what we got. What do we got? Oh, I failed. I did not set up the thing. There we go. Alright, what do we got? What is this code? P2089. Camshaft position actuator. Let's do Subaru specific. I feel like it's camshaft position sensor. Nope. Actuator. What is the other one? So we have cam position and cam position actuator. I don't even know what that one would be. Cam position actuator? Actuator. What is actuating? This applies to OBD2, 1996 newer, la 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 la. Is it just the camshaft position sensor that it's referring to? Your intake left or right. Why is it called actuator? Why are they putting the word actuator in there? Actuator. Check your cam position sensors. See if they need to be swapped out. If they don't need to be swapped out, timing. Double check timing actually before you pull out the camshaft position sensor. Easiest way to check timing is to go in there, just pop off the left and right covers of the timing cover, go ahead and crank it over by hand until everything is like lining up. If like timing seems off, then it's going to be timing that's causing those codes to be popping up because your timing is off, which means your cams are off, which means the timing and the cams are not communicating properly, which would throw those codes. If not, then I would think it's going to be your camshaft position sensors might be going out, but I would check timing before you actually start like replacing any sensors. What ignition coil packs are you going to be running on the EG? Probably LS or R35. Either one of those is what I've been looking into. The LS seem a little bit more affordable, so we might be going with LS coil packs. Hello from Houston. Hello, Ronald. In the process of wrapping up my ETS front mount intercooler, what pound spring did you get for the tile blow-off valve? I did not use a tile blow-off valve. So I would contact your tuner on that one and see what he wants you to set the spring rate to. It's always good to ask your tuner what spring rate you should be setting your stuff to, whether that's wastegate or blow-off valve. They'll tell you what combination of springs to run or what bar to run, and then you can just get it set up because they're going to be the one tuning the car, so they're going to be the one telling you kind of what to set up in there. What's my opinion on the Arashi Dynamics turbos? Do you know anything about them? I've never even heard of them. I cannot say I have ever heard of them. So let's see. Arashi Dynamics. Oh wow, what an interesting looking landing page. Journal bearing, KBT ball bearing, Kudo ball bearing. Let me just look at journal bearing. Those are relatively affordable. The price kind of sketches me out a little bit. Something seems off about how big is this turbo? How big is this for that price? I don't know. I don't know if I'd trust it for that price. I don't know if I'd be willing to gamble on that. I've never heard of them, but if you decide to run this turbo, follow up with how well it's performing. I don't know, there's something that just seems too good to be true about the price and what you're getting off of these turbos. I've never heard of them. Maybe someone else has before. I don't know. I've never heard of that company or brand before. I have a Stage 2 Pro Tune. I did have tuner make the adjustments needed, and I still got surge. I even, like I said, put the stock. How much surge are you getting when you're driving? Are you set to like 18 PSI and you're surging up to like 22 PSI? Like, how big of a surge are you actually getting in like PSI when this is happening? I'm hungry. Goldfish, flavor blasted, or Cheez-Its? Goldfish. Hands down, Goldfish. Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its. How much wheel horsepower can I make on E85 with all supporting mods? Stock, turbo, 2017 STI. Probably about 330 wheel horsepower because that's where that stock VF48 likes to max out. I've seen people push that thing a little bit farther, but probably right around 330 wheel horsepower. Did you check on the videos of the MGW H6 STI? I've seen that car. That one's got the easy, I want to say it's an easy 30 in there. A little bit different of a setup. We should be making more power on our car than that one was making, but that Hawkeye is incredibly clean, incredibly well built also. But yes, I have seen that car. I've seen videos of it. Very clean Hawkeye. Bro, yes, it does 142,000 miles, brand new parts installed, except the turbo is kind of poopy. Already swapped the other turbo in. Gabriel, now you got me set. What did I say? My neighbor has a, oh, gotcha, the 2.5 GT. Damn, that's a good deal for that. What, you said $1,000? Something like that? That's a good deal. That's good. Or get a JDM bypass valve, which can handle 24 PSI. Also, yes, you can do that as well. But like we said earlier, there's not really a need to swap out bypass valves unless you're really starting to turn up boost. What do I think of the Crawford AOS compared to the IAG comp? I've ran Crawford in the past. I had no issues with any of my Crawfords. They got the job done. They recirculated everything. They kept all the air and the oil separated. But since, what was the last one I had? Last one I had that on was, I think, my 07 STI. And since then, I've been using IAG. But both of them are very good options, in my opinion. I haven't ran Crawford in a couple years. But I assume their quality is still up there. They've always had really good quality control. When does the STI become fun? I really missed the low-end torque of my old 2018 WRX, went to a Focus RS, and then a 2020 STI. I think the WRX was more fun at this point, stage 2 versus stage 2 plus on the WRX. So here's the thing, with the FA20 WRX, you're going to be able to make power a lot easier up to 400 wheel horsepower. Once you get past 400 wheel horsepower, that's where the STI is really going to start to shine if you are going to be pushing it. If you do have a 2020 STI, that means you can really push that motor since you do have the revised block. People have been making 500 to 550 wheel horsepower on that block all day, no problems. But when does it become fun? I mean, it's fun right out of the get-go. I always have a blast with all of my STIs, even when they're stock. If you're just driving like point A to point B, yeah, it's going to be a little mundane and a little bit boring, but take it up to the mountains, go enjoy it, go push the car, go play with it like outside of like city bounds and like freeways. They're fun. They're fun. I want a blob eye, but I can never find a decent one. Thomas, I totally feel you on that one. They're very difficult to find in good or decent condition at that. Like, even this 05 STI, like, even any older STI or WRX, they're going to tend to be a little bit of a money pit situation where you're going to have to go in there and fix a lot of things, repair a lot of things, update stuff. It's just the nature of a car that's almost 20 years old at this point. It's unfortunate. Just got an 18 STI Premium and looking for longevity modifications. AOS, alloy, radiator, any other mods just for longevity. AOS, equal length header, radiator, oil pickup, oil pan, windage tray, cylinder 4 cooling mod are really going to be the go-to for all reliability and longevity mods. And a good Pro Tune. I've got a 2018 WRX and I plan to finish my build with coilovers, oil cooler, and cylinder 4 cooling mod. Good setup with intercooler, muffler, delete, intake, access port, and e-tune. I mean, yeah, it sounds like you got a solid setup right there. Should make the car a lot more fun. I would definitely consider tossing on a J-pipe if you haven't already considered that. And no cylinder 4 cooling mod. You have a 2018 WRX. That's not even going to work on that one. Swap out that cylinder 4 cooling mod. The oil cooler, totally cool to throw that one on there. Toss the cylinder 4 cooling mod. Add on a J-pipe and intake and electronic boost controller. And you have like a solid setup right there. Runs amazing on Kinda Jelly. Also bought the GF8 for $50. How are you buying all these cars for steals, dude? I was looking for a bug-eye wagon WRX from a friend of a friend. But he has it on the back burner as he sells a few other cars. So I'm just trying to find some other Subaru or that, going crazy until then. I totally feel it. I totally feel it. Hopefully it works out relatively soon. Could a leaking blow-off valve cause a boost leak of more than 4 to 5 psi? Depending on how bad the leak is, yes. I don't see that being very likely at 4 to 5 psi, unless you're like missing the gasket that goes between the bypass valve and the intercooler. I mean, it's possible. Turn the car on and spray it with soapy water. If you see a whole bunch of like bubbles coming out of it, you found your leak. Would you happen to know if an 04 STI bumper would fit on an 04 WRX? Are you talking about front or rear bumper? Rear bumper, I don't think is a direct swap. I think you got to swap out the brackets also. Front bumper should be a direct swap over. What up, boys? Hope we're making some progress on the builds this week. Always, always. I'm thinking about a Twisted Motion or something 20G for my next turbo once I get some 1050cc's. These 565 ones are just a little too small. I totally feel it. Looks like an uppriced eBay turbo. I know, right? Like, it's just... I've never heard of this brand before for turbos. I'm only looking at their journal bearings, though. So let's look at their, like, Kudo ball bedding. That's... Nah. I probably wouldn't buy one of these. These seem like way too cheap to be... What is their most expensive turbo? Page 12? They have 12 pages of turbos? Okay, no, those are all like just exhaust housings. Those are just more exhaust housings. I just want to see... Alright, here we go. Here's turbos. Yeah, I probably wouldn't buy these. Personal... I mean, maybe they are good. Maybe they are good, and they're just able to sell them at just such a very good price. But just the price alone just kind of sets me off. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem right. Something doesn't seem right there. It just doesn't seem right. I'm thinking... We talked about that one, Shout us some Cobb discount codes. I don't have any Cobb. I don't have any discount codes. You think companies like me companies don't like me. A lot of companies actually really don't like me, just because I don't simp to them or bow to them, or however you want to put it. A lot of companies make parts that I don't like, and I'm not gonna sit here and push parts to you guys that are just kind of mediocre at best. But I don't have any discount codes, unfortunately. Like I said, not a lot of companies out there are big fans of me. IDK, if you have seen Gears and Gasoline new episode on YouTube, I have seen it, about social expectations on building a car, and was wondering what your opinion on it is. Basically, 12-year-old sees Supra, 1,000 horsepower. I disagree with the video that Gears and Gasoline made. I think if you're not happy with the car that you're building, you either bought the wrong car, or you're trying to like fill a void in you with a hobby that's not actually a hobby. Like, I get plenty of enjoyment. It doesn't matter if I'm like throwing a tool across the garage, or I'm like finally got a bolt in that I've been trying to put in for like 4 hours. I could be sitting in the garage arguing with my own car for days, hours, minutes. I don't care, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm still having fun. About the social expectations of building a car, I mean, on that aspect, I do kind of agree, just because there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that don't show all the struggles and all the problems that go into everything that they do. That's why you guys get so many videos on this channel. I cover every single aspect of what goes into every single build. I do not leave anything out, just so you guys can see the realistic expectations of what actually goes into building cars. There's a lot of channels out there that I've seen, and I'm not trying to like toss any of them under a bus or anything like that, but there's just a lot of them I've seen that they'll go just drop off a car at a shop. They'll have the shop build the car for them, or they'll say, hey, we're gonna throw this part on the car, and then for some reason it just like the screen goes black and it's like, hey, it's on the car. And it's been like, to an extent, I think the social expectations are a little off. I do my best, as like the best I can, to show you guys every single aspect of what goes into every single one of the builds on every single one of the cars. A lot of channels don't do that though. Thoughts on the MK4 Volkswagen R32? I like them. I think they look good. I'd like to have one day. I've never owned a Volkswagen. I've worked on a couple of them before, and they were a real pain, only because I kept stabbing myself with the millions of heat shields that they put. LMAO DDE, there's a perfect example. I mean, I watch DDE. I like their personalities, but I mean, that's a good example of kind of the unrealistic expectations. Anyways, thoughts on R32s? I like them. I like them a lot. It's more like losing throttle power and jumps back. Have you already smoke tested the car, WRX STI? Have you already smoke tested it? What do I do for a living? I do this. This is what I do. I make videos for you guys every single day. It did not come with a, came with a lot of sacrifice. And I guess I'll talk about this too, since we kind of talked about the social expectations of things. I get messages and emails from you guys asking like how I afford all the parts that I buy, how I'm able to build all of the cars and things like that. Some people who are newer to the channel don't quite see everything that I've done prior. Like, I quit my old job, I sold my house, and we're renting out a space in Matt's house to be able to do this, and he's grateful enough to charge us a fair amount of rent that allows me to be able to do videos full time. But the other thing that you guys don't understand is I spend 80 to 85%, probably 80 to 85% of my income. Everything that I make, I put back into the channel, whether it's merchandise, whether it's tools, whether it's camera equipment, whether it's cars or parts, anything like that. Like, everything that I do Force Media, everything goes back into the channel. So if you guys could spend 80 to 85% of your income, you guys may or may not, I mean, I don't know how much everyone makes, but the monetary aspect of it is there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into doing a lot of this stuff to be able to make a lot of these videos, and I enjoy every single one, and I don't mind making that sacrifice because it's what I love to do every single day. But I get a lot of messages from you guys asking how I afford to be able to do all this stuff, and it's because I spend almost 90% of my income on the channel. Like, I see it as like a self-investment kind of thing, where I'm putting all this money back into the channel to try to help it grow more, try to help other people out, try to do other installs that people have been wanting, and that kind of stuff like that. So I mean, just to throw that one out there, kind of got a little off topic, but hope that answers some of your guys' questions. It's just literally all, like, I just toss all of my money back into the channel. I don't mind doing it. I enjoy doing it, and I see it as kind of as like an investment. What up, chooms? I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means, Army Guy. Can you explain the benefits of an air oil separator? Is it worth it to put one on a daily driver car? 100%. So what an air oil separator does is it keeps the oil in the air vapor out from going back into the cylinders, keeping your octane rating at its peak and helping reduce the amount of knock events that are going to be going on in the engine. So it really just helps clean air fuel mixture from going back in there. Do you need a tune for an upgraded radiator? No, you do not. The only things you need tunes for are things that affect how much air or fuel goes in or out of the motors. Really all you're going to need a tune for. Do I prefer equal length or unequal length headers on your setups? I prefer equal length. I've been rocking an equal length setup on my NAT Legacy and finally killed the rasp with a new resonator. Posted an audio clip of it today and it's sounding mean. I'm all about it. I like equal length headers. I think it's a lot more efficient. You're reducing the EGTs coming out of cylinders 2 and 4 and you're able to bring those temperatures to a point where it's going to help reduce the knock events that are going on in the engine. So I do think that equal length headers are a little bit better of an option. Alright, thanks for the advice. Anytime. Does anyone else hear a clicking on the stream? It's probably by microphone. I will try swapping out to the other microphone in the next stream just to see if that stops the clicking. I noticed that too in a couple of them, and if it keeps doing it, I'll try swapping out mics for the next one on Friday. Haha! Xbox in the background! You know Tanner built the STI Flat 6 and Forza. Shh, don't tell anyone. If I run equal length headers, do I still need cylinder 4 mod? Yes. Just because you're swapping out one problem for a cooling problem, and you're not one's a cooling problem, one's an exhaust problem. They don't just fix one another. I am back. Welcome back, Christian. Better late than never. AJ, what's going on, dude? Whoever asked about the 04 STI bumper, you can, but the little side wings and put on it your WRX bumper. True. That is one thing. Those turbos all look universal. I'm pretty sure they are. I run an Arashi GTX 3582 Kuro stock location, tuned it myself, making 600 wheel horsepower and 85. Pretty solid turbo from my experience. Hey, glad to hear. I've never heard of them before, so I just, like, based on the prices I was seeing on those turbos, something just didn't see right. There is a clicking in the background. It is probably my mic. I do apologize. Like I said, Friday stream, I will swap that one out. Any idea what causes my damn value to stay at 0.875 of my fine knock learn at 0.35. Feedback knock is reading 0. There's a lot of things. Could be tune, could be bad fuel, could be a boost leak. There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of things that could be causing it to drop. For me to try to diagnose and guess what it is over a live stream just isn't going to be an accurate representation. I do have a whole video on trying to diagnose where your damn issues might be coming from. I would highly suggest going and checking out that video if you haven't already. Gears and Gasoline is sick, and they're in Virginia. They are. I mean, I like their videos. I think they have good videos. The fine knock learn hits 0.35 once during second gear around 3 to 4K RPM. Like I said, I would definitely go check that video out and see if that helps answer any of your guys' questions. Or, yeah, the clicking could also be me, like, using the mouse to, like, highlight your guys' comments. Just so you guys can see, like, as I go through here, like, I'll go through a comment, and then I'll, like, double-click where I'm at on here, just so I don't lose my spot when I'm responding to your guys' comments. So that could also very well be me. Hey, man, hope things are great and spicy. Always spicy, Austin. I'm always down for the spice. I have to agree about building a car. Same thing with my motorcycle. I screwed up the oil pan on mine and then spent another weekend fixing it. It was a great and fun learning experience. By all means, like you guys will see in tomorrow's video, I completely decimated my power steering pump. You guys will see it tomorrow. I like seriously screwed up the other day. It happens. Totally happens. Where did I just go? I lost my spot. Oh, there it is. A simple question. I have a current STI and thinking steering wheel. How do you like the Alcantara now? I mean, honestly, it's very easy to maintain. Get the Sonex, S-O-N-E-X Alcantara cleaner. Just clean it like once every 3 months, and I mean, honestly, it's held up just fine, even to like my greasy hands. Oh, man! Late to the party. What's going on, Brent? What do you mean smoke test? So, I mean, you hook up a pressure test to the intake system of the car and you feed smoke into it. If you see smoke coming anywhere out of the engine, then you know you have a boost leak somewhere, which could be another issue causing your surging. I would go through there and I would smoke test it, see if you can find any possible problems that might be causing the overboosting or the surging. Volkswagen sucks. The spark plugs are easy. That's about it. I mean, I'd like to get a Volkswagen. I think they'd be fun to play with. I went to a used car dealership today with a friend to look at an 04 STI, and the bad boy had no boost controller. The gauges weren't even plugged in, and black oil. Ooh, yeah, stay away from that thing. Stay away from that thing. I wouldn't even buy that car. I'm trying to get half of my income. So many bad decisions from my 20s I'm still paying for. I totally feel it. I totally feel it. Totally feel it. I don't make that much. That's why my car is stock. True. I feel it. I feel that. I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. Huge respects. Appreciate the complete transparency and everything you do for us on the channel. Much respect and appreciate all your hustle. Anytime, dude. Like I said, I mean, this is what I enjoy doing. I don't mind making the sacrifices. And Melanie doesn't mind either. I definitely run all of my decisions by her also, because they also affect her, but so far we're good. Question! Ricky, what is your question? Mine too stockish as F. I appreciate your DIY heat wrap video. You know how many people got butthurt about that video? Because I wrapped my headers a different way than how DEI says to do it and all this. That video made so many people like so upset. I don't understand it. I watched the Tomei header video, completely made. They didn't use water to help aid in the wrap install. Thoughts? Like I said, the way that I wrap is different from the way that like Tomei or other channels do it. I like soaking the exhaust wrap in water. It's a lot easier for me to be able to stretch the wrap a little bit. And then once it's fully dry, I like to put that silicone coating spray over the wrap just to seal everything in and protect it a little bit more. Up here in Washington, it's very wet. It rains probably, I don't know, 3/4 of the year. So there's a lot of water. I don't want the piping to corrode if it is being wrapped. So I try to seal that wrap as much as I can just to keep water out of it. Doing it wet versus dry, both options work. I just prefer doing it wet. Yes. Ricky, ask it quick! If I can get a Cobb catback exhaust, should I upgrade the gaskets to the Grimspeed thick ones or use OEM? Honestly, flip a coin. Both of them are good options to use. I have never had a problem with the OEM gaskets. Just swapping them out, I mean, as long as they're not 120,000 miles old, you shouldn't have any problems with just OEM gaskets. I would say get whatever one's cheaper and just run it that way. 2 questions. Why do you need us to do to expand your channel? Did you go to college? Was it worth it or no? I mean, I did go to college. I have 4 college degrees and 3 certificates. So I mean, I went to college. I enjoyed college. It was fun. My VA bill paid for, or my GI Bill paid for it. Took full advantage of it when I was in, or when I got out of the Army. But yeah, I mean, I went to college. Was it worth it? I'd say it was worth it. I did learn some stuff in college, but I learned more. I learned better doing things on my own than sitting in a classroom and doing like online learnings and whatnot. Like, yeah, it was cool to go to college. I did mainly online school, and like it was like hybrid where I went to class and then had like some classes online. But both of them like very good options. But I mean, if you want to go to college, by all means, go for something that you know you're going to enjoy. I think the clicking is the double clicking each. Yep, AJ is already on it. Good evening, Tanner. Are you going to have hats? I am going to be ordering some hats. I think I get paid tomorrow. I don't know. YouTube always pays me on like random days. So as soon as I get paid, I'm ordering more merchandise. Which we will have hats. We will have new revised hoodies. Yes, we will do more sizes. We will go up to like a 2XL in sizes this time. I promise. I promise. Where did I just go? Thanks for your feedback, man. Anytime. Fox, it is 100% the mic. It is the mic then. Clicking is either the mic or some other feedback. Do any of your videos on the 05 STI show the sound of the ticking noise you had prior to when you took it apart? Yes. And the very big... No. No, I don't think I recorded any sound clip of the 05 STI's clicking prior to me taking it apart. It was there. It just wasn't as loud. Yep, you gotta rewatch the stream and you'll hear it. I will do that after this. Any of your streams. It's mostly... Wow. Wow, and now this is just now coming up. I'll try the other mic in the next stream and I'll see if that fixes things. Hey man, which short shifter you recommend for a 2020 Subaru WRX? Boomba is always pretty much my go-to for that one. Boomba. I mean, Boomba's good. I like Boomba. Boomba's awesome. But we've been going for about an hour, you guys. I need to finish editing tomorrow's video for you guys. So I appreciate all you guys swinging by the stream tonight. If I didn't get to your question tonight, feel free to jump in on Friday's stream. I will be swapping out this microphone for the other one since this one seems to be clicking a lot. So on Friday, just let me know if that one's clicking or not. But anyways, like I said, appreciate everyone swinging by the mic. It's the mic. Appreciate everyone swinging by the stream tonight. I hope everyone has a solid rest of their work week. I got to get going on the 05 STI again tomorrow to get the front mount intercooler on there, the headers, and all of the other good stuff just to be able to get that car running again. But like I said, I got to finish editing tomorrow's upload. So with that, I will catch you guys